Hey, hey.
Hi. Hi, how's it going?
You know, um, I see Kelly's
Well,
here. Kelly, thanks for
you
joining.
too. Hey, Callie. Um, well, good afternoon, everyone. Before we kick off today, I wanted to share a couple housekeeping items. We have a comments bar to the side of the recording where you can just say hi or you can ask questions during the conversation. If we don't get to those questions, we'll make sure to follow up with you afterwards. And then the link for this recording will be available after we wrap on the Celarity LinkedIn page. So with that, I think we can get started. We'll kick off with some introductions. My name is Jamie Duong, and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager with Celarity. And I'm joined today by Connor. Connor, if you'd introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Connor Duffy. I am a senior client experience manager here at Celarity, and I've been in the recruiting industry for almost 8 years now. So, talking trends and everything, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, when we're here to talk about hiring trends in 2022. So what are some of the first things that come to mind when I say that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's seen it. 2022, even the end of 2021, it's been chaos. it's
Right. Right.
Just yesterday, I was at an IEBC event hosted by Land O'Lakes, and they had mentioned that there's two job openings for every single job seeker out there right
Wow.
now. And anyone who's been hiring has seen that and can feel it. It's been incredibly competitive. People's salaries are going up.
Hmm.
There's more offers per candidate, and hence those job openings. It's been chaos. So that would be the first thing that pops into my head.
Right. So what are you seeing as big motivators for people to leave? And then on the flip side of that, what are you seeing motivating where they're choosing to land?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a multitude of things.
Hmm.
Obviously, these last few years, there's been a pandemic. There's been multiple events that have happened that have caused, there's been a lot of traumatic things out there in this world that have
Hmm.
happened. It's caused people to rethink a lot of things,
Right.
where what's important to them, whether it's work-life balance, career, it could be career, maybe changing careers or
Hmm.
diving deeper into the certain one they're in. But the few motivators for sure are balance, and what that means, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a remote employee or anything like that, but there's a flexibility that's been added.
Hmm.
Having an employer who trusts you to do your job, and if you have a
Right.
doctor's appointment or if you need to work from home one day or whatever that situation is, that balance and that flexibility been a huge factor. Two, money. We've
Right.
we've seen. I mean, there's been inflation. There's been a lot. People generally
Yeah.
always want to be paid more, and we've seen some large salaries out there. People are getting big
Hmm.
increases. They're realizing what they're worth and what they bring to the table, and other companies are just starving to find some good talent. To build out their team. So I'd say those are the two biggest things: is finding a certain flexibility with
Hmm.
the environment, and then salary as well.
Right. What are you seeing as kind of the biggest or the positions that are a lot of people are hiring for, most popular, growing?
Yeah. Um, so it's kind of changed a lot over the last year, but within the last 4 or 5 months here in this 2022 calendar year, digital, digital, digital.
Hmm.
Just yesterday, I talked with a few companies about 7 different digital strategists, digital specialists, you name it. But the world has shifted so dramatically, such a short period of time, to this digital space where everything is online on your phone, or not everything, but
Yeah.
a vast majority of things
Yeah.
are done online, and
Hmm.
people have had to shift that strategy to that. So digital is a huge umbrella. It's not just
Hmm.
one word and one role. There's paid, there's SEO, there's strategy. I mean, you name it. Anything in that digital space, though, that's been the big skill set that people have been looking for.
People are investing there for sure. When you're talking to hiring managers, what are some of the biggest pain points that you've been hearing?
Yeah. The biggest one is, where is everyone? where Why do I not have the same applications I used to have? We have a couple clients of ours, even big fortunes, where they used to post, and name recognition, you get hundreds of
Right.
applications. And we actually had one hiring manager we have a great relationship with for years. She reached out and, hey, this role I normally get hundreds of apps, and it's been open for a month, and I've had zero, not a single person has applied. Like, what's going on? So
Mm-hmm.
Fortune company or not,
Yeah.
that has been the biggest pain point for hiring managers. It's hard to find talent, especially in this competitive market. And I'd say another thing is everyone's getting an offer faster than we can move. It's that speed is a big pain point for managers when
Right.
looking to hire. Companies are doing one interview and hiring, and then they're giving these
Wow.
large salaries. So it's been hard to adjust on what's that balance, right? You don't want to move too quick and you don't want to move too slow. Those are for sure the two biggest things.
Are there any unique opportunities you think this climate might be offering to those who are hiring?
Definitely. I think when there's so much turnover, when you see all these people hiring in this crazy, chaotic, competitive market, it's easy to get swept up in that. But one of the big opportunities is take stock of your own team.
Mm-hmm.
Who on your team is a top performer? Because there might be quite a few out there, but you might have that top performer in-house or several. And
Mm-hmm.
do what you can to make sure they don't leave. Check in with them, ask them point blank, like, hey, is there anything you're not getting in this job that you want? You probably, every manager knows they're probably getting reached out to by
Yeah.
other agencies, other companies, you name it. So who on your team do you not want to lose, and do what you can to keep them? And
Mm-hmm.
two, rethink what you love about your job and emphasize that in an interview. When you interview
Yeah.
candidates, it's really easy to just focus on black and white. Hey, is your skill set a match or not?
Yeah.
And you lose sight of getting them interested. And how they get interested is feeling that passion that you have for your
Mm-hmm.
job. So remember why you love it and emphasize that in reach outs, emphasize that in interviews, all that. So that's definitely take stock of your own team, because again, it's easy to forget that when there's so much activity and chaos out there. And then
Mm-hmm.
um, remember why you love your job. Why do you love to work where
Yeah.
you work?
Mm-hmm. No, that's great advice. Kind of on that tangent, if there were just a few pieces of advice that somebody left here today, remembering what would you want that to be?
Don't panic, and you're not alone. It's, when thinking about hiring in this market, it can be daunting. It can be scary.
Mhm.
But just remember that if you're passionate about what you do, that and make sure you emphasize that when talking to candidates, that's going to help
Mhm.
a ton. If you need help, come to us. Leverage your network to find people as
Mhm.
well. Most of these managers, most of the people looking to hire have been in this industry for years. Utilize that. Ask people, hey, do you know anyone? Um, on that front. So, and then when you have that candidate you really, really like, and you're, oh man, this,
Mhm.
this might be the one, you got to tell them. Tell them why you're interested. Hey, we
Right.
really like you. Your skill set here, your skills in X and Y bring a ton to the table, and we want to move forward. If you mention that, how excited does a candidate feel, right? Oh my
Right.
gosh, it sounds great. Like,
Mhm.
um, those are just a few things. And if you ever just want to chat about more stuff, more things like that too, don't be afraid to give us a call. I'm always happy to chat. Huge expressive
Mhm.
personality, love to talk. So if anyone ever just wants to chat about the market, I could talk about it for hours.
Yeah. No, we love that about you, Connor. And lastly, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but if you were to look 6 months, a year, maybe a few years into the future, what do you see for the jobs market?
Yeah, probably a little more chaos for a
Mhm.
while, but I see it gradually changing to more of a beautiful chaos, right? So the interview practices right now, people are trying to figure out how to speed it up. Candidates are trying to jump on a company that might pay them a lot more or hit one of the things that they really want to see in a new job. I see everyone refining that. I
Mhm.
see managers getting better at interviewing who really needs to be involved, moving at the right pace, and making sure that when they have that right person, that they do what they can to get them hired, and they tell them. And I see the same for
Mhm.
candidates as well. Like, a lot of people have moved jobs in these last 6 months to a year, and some of them aren't happy already. And I see down the road people not wanting to shift jobs every year. Why would you? It's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I see candidates in being more refined on that approach as well. And there's actually a stat too that shows about trends on how CEOs and leaders and candidates view and employees view where it's turning, and it's quite the
Mhm.
opposite, which is interesting. A study done by
Oh,
Mercer
nice.
showed that 6 in 10 C-suite executives actually expect the contract slash freelance gig workers to replace full-time employees over the next 6 months to a year, where it's completely the opposite for employees. 6 in 10 of them wouldn't even consider it. So there's going to be a little friction, which hence beautiful chaos and all that. But as we keep moving, we'll work through it. And I just see a lot of people getting more refined with processes, and hopefully it becomes more beautiful chaos.
Right. Well said. Well, I feel like that is kind of the perfect place to wrap it up. I thank you so much for sharing your insights, Connor, and thank you to everyone who joined us for this quick conversation. If you have any questions, like I said earlier, we will follow up with you on LinkedIn. Always feel free to reach out to Connor or myself directly. Always here to answer your questions. And then lastly, before we sign off, I want to let everybody know about an upcoming in-person event that Celarity is hosting on June 22nd at the Industrious Co-working Space in the North Loop neighborhood of Minneapolis. This event will feature a discussion around whole person interviewing tactics that you can use to find, hire, and keep passion-driven employees. So for more information or to register, visit the resources page on the Celarity's website. And with that, I hope everybody has a wonderful Thursday, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.